Today we out here by an old pumping station. You know, I ain't been here in a while. You know, but slinging today. It's gonna be a good sling tip day, and we're gonna be slinging at Straight Poison, y'all. Check it out. Coca-Cola. Who doesn't love a little Coca-Cola? I'm guilty of it myself. But today we're gonna be slinging at it, and every time I miss, I'm gonna have to give a sling tip. So let's not hope I miss too much, y'all. And you know, I'm not gonna do 13 meters, but I'm gonna do about 15. Looking alligator. Wow, huh? Anyway, all right, let's do this. About 15 meters. I'm gonna go bust this thing up, dog. Let's go. Okay, here we go. I haven't even planned any tips ahead of time. Let's go. Coca-Cola got to go. Not a bad start. Tip number one. Something I didn't do. Stretch. Alright, do a little stretch, you know, get them muscles flowing. Cop it out like that. Well, the cat way off. Alright, tip number two is make sure your projectile is securely in your pouch. And you want to make it secure when you're throwing. You want to feel the projectile in your fingers. Know it's not going nowhere, you know? Tip number three. When you're starting off, you only spin it like this if you know how to spin it and throw it. If not, learn how to do that before you try to spin it before you throw it. Tip number four. I didn't think this out. Tip number four. Tip number four is try to keep your weight back when you throw, in a sense, as when you're throwing as a whole motion. You know, some people don't move their feet, but even when you're throwing, like your body and spin all gotta, you know, your whole body gotta be like a whip. So yeah, but you want to keep your weight back and do the whip motion at the right time, is what I'm saying. I guess that'll be tip number 7. Is gonna be what the fast one is in between takes. A good tip I like to say would be throw the knot. When you start slinging, if you're kind of new to it, you're not knowing what you're doing, because slinging isn't like a bow and arrow. It isn't like you could pull it back and shoot it. You know, the bow and arrow, you put the thing in the thing, you pull back and shoot the thing. A sling is a lot different. You know, you got a lot of things going into it. So to really simplify it, especially in the beginning, is just think about throwing this knot. You know, being able to spin it and throw it, and just try to hit it with the knot. Oh, there it is. Well, there goes the big explosion I was hoping was going to happen. All right, tip 7. As long as I hit it, is it. Nah. Tip 7 is tip 7. You know, a good warm up is to sling without a rock in it. You know, kind of at least think about what you're gonna do. That first throw, especially when I'm cold, sometimes I don't know where it's gonna go, y'all. Tip 8. Tip 8, if you throw heavy rocks on long distance, you'll hurt your arm. And what I always found out, a good way to hurt your arm, a good way to fix your arm is rub it like this, rub this area, and go back and forth like that. You know, sometimes it's your shoulder, sometimes it's something else, sometimes it's your elbow, but when mine was hurting one time, that helped me out a lot, and I hope it can help you too. Alright, next tip. Next tip is gonna be run it out, y'all. I'm running out, dude. It's all mental. You know, tip number 9, it's all mental. You gotta have a good mental mind frame when you're doing this. That's why I'm kind of trying to have trouble, but you know, whatever, it's a good battle. But, you know, a lot of times just breathe in, breathe out, and calm down. You know, just like everything else in life, you know, you don't want to get too excited. You want to stay nice and calm. And slinging, after you throw, everything starts building up. So once you get to throw 3, 4, and 5 in a competition, or however you're doing, if you're trying to hit something, your pressure's gonna be so high up, you're gonna be off, and it's gonna be hard to fix it. So yeah, breathe in deep and keep your pressure down if you can. Tip number 10, I guess. Okay. Now, there's also, okay, if you're throwing at an upper angle, like really high, and you throw 3/4 like I do, that's when you need to try a sidearm. Alright, this might be a little serious right here. The sidearm, if you're trying to throw up, you know, I'll throw it like that even though I'm not good at it, but something like this. And it goes up. So if you're trying to throw high, that's the way to go. Number 2 on sidearm, if you're trying to throw 4, that's the best way to do it. You know, you gotta get you you get the right spin on a projectile with a good upper pattern. There's no other style that's gonna get it any further. And I say sidearm, it could be underhand, but I just mean over the top isn't the way to go. Alright, I'm just gonna keep a tab. No, but keep going. Tip number 11, be careful while you're slinging. Tip number 12, tip number 12 is if you throw out a board too much, and I say too much, I mean like more than once a day, 2, 3 times a day, every day, it gets in your head so much it's hard to do. I don't know if that's a tip or not, but it's hot. Can't think about my last throw doing these in between. Tip number 13. Tip number 13. Heavier balls or heavier projectiles are easier when it comes to aiming in the beginning, you know, because you're throwing just the weight. It's good to feel the weight. Too low, too high. Okay, here we go. If a sling is the same, you want the projectile and the sling close to the same weight. If the sling's too heavy for a light projectile, you got problems. And if your projectile's too heavy for the sling, you got problems. Alright, that's one tip. Another tip would be that You know, when I say keep your weight back, think about yourself hauling up like a snake ready to attack. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you move your feet, you know, instead of just thinking about going up, just think about that recall. It's gonna give you a lot more power. It's gonna get your timing right. Tip number 2, tip number 3 is gonna be start off with tennis balls, y'all. Tennis balls are a lot more safer. And even though, like I said, heavy stuff is funner, you can game a little better. Start off with tennis balls close, get the hang of slinging, then have fun with heavier stuff. All right, so I got 3 throws. Yeah, baby. And look, I even gave y'all a free one, y'all. That was rough. Hope it came out all right. Down South Sling competition coming in soon, y'all. If y'all want to join, let me know, man. Hotel rooms are cheap, and everything else is gonna be fun and free. You know, cost of registration $25. Register to the sling, but you also get a shirt, all kind of other goodies. But real cheap, and y'all who want to come, hopefully it's not a disaster. And y'all like what y'all seen today, like, subscribe, tell a friend when you do, tell them that notification bell. Peace.